and the way it is. If anything, when I originally looked at this budget, I said, sand it back, cut another 10%, and bring it back to us. That's how I looked at it, because right now, we haven't made enough cuts to make an impact. We are looking at property values that are gonna be going down an additional, probably about 6%. So, and it's all over. And it may be more than that in Warren. We may be hit harder. I don't know how hard we're gonna hit, but right now, the average that they're talking about out there is about 6%. And like Mr. List said, with Headley, that makes a huge difference because we have the cap, and the cap is only there based on inflation. And if we look at, you know, the history over the last couple of years, what inflation is, it's not very much. So, if any, you know, so I think it's really tough times, and we've got to bite the bullet this year. It is election year. I know that there's a lot of opposition in what we do. A millage rate increase. I don't feel comfortable with this economy right now at all. I wasn't even comfortable with raising fees because I've seen so many people having a hard time, you know, just paying the fees to get a hot water tank in or something like that. I mean, I couldn't believe it. One lady called me and told me how much it cost her to have a hot water tank put in. And she needed 2 permits and all this. One permit was $55. I think she paid $150 even though she had a coverage. So that was even hard for her to handle. She says, you know, I'm on Social Security, what am I supposed to do? And she's trying to do the right thing. So I think we all need to help each other out in this economy. It's hard for a lot of people to survive right now. It really is. And when you see the regular worker and what they're losing, and you know they see our budget and what's going on here, I think I can agree with Mr. List, whether it's 10% now or 15%. I think something needs to be addressed now across the board. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mr. Warner?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Malasek, when this budget was originally proposed, what was the original amount?
It was over 102 million, I believe, so we did.
And you sent it back and it came back to.
It came back at the 93, and then now it's under 90 million at 89. So, and when you compare it to the budget that's approved from last year, it's $7.3 million lower. So to say that we haven't worked hard and cut expenses, I think the employees have done a tremendous job to reduce because of we, the employees, are about 80% of this budget. So to say that we haven't done anything or taken any hits is incorrect. And we employees have reduced this budget by $7.3 million. And it's something that I think I'm very proud of. To answer your question, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Warner, I have a question, and maybe, I don't know if you personally have the answer or not. You at last meeting had proposed reducing the planning and the ZBA. Did you ever get the background that we had asked for on that? No? Mr. Biernatt, have you had an opportunity to investigate the legality of reducing the planning or the zoning board of appeals from our last meeting regarding the budget?
No.
Ms. Comer?
Mr. Nelson, on property maintenance department, we have the bank foreclosure registration that's going on right now. I know that's been going very well. Just want to find out, figure-wise, the money that we're gaining from that, what is that going back into? Is it going back into the property maintenance department? Where are those funds? If we gained about $250,000 approximately,
It'd be in the general fund.
so it's going to the general fund.
Right.
And what is that being allocated for in the general fund? Anything in specific that it's tagged for?
No, it's just offsetting the expenses.
So just
Yeah.
Okay, do we know what the total expenditures are that we're doing on those type of properties?
I don't have those numbers here.
Okay. I'd like to see what those are too.
Madam Chair,
Ms.
seems
Vogt?
like there's an awful lot of information we still need before we can make a decision on this.
I agree. I have one last comment real quick. If everybody is content with where we're at until we get that information. I believe it was in the last budget, if not maybe the budget before that we eliminated the funding for West Nile, saying that we hadn't had any real incidences with that. And I would ask that this council would consider reestablishing the funding for the tablet treatments. I understand that the administration's already proposed that, but I don't see anywhere that there's funding.
It's in here.
It is?
Yeah.
What page?
I don't remember.
Oh, he's gonna be doing it this weekend? Okay, well, where is that being funded from?
It's in here. I remember going through it earlier. I don't know what page.
I remember seeing.
Okay, it is, okay.
Okay, yeah, it's a small amount.
All right, because obviously I think the mosquito
Are
situation
bad.
is horrible.
We are, right?
It's my understanding that Mr. Shadig is working to possibly expand that program. So hopefully we'll get some information. I don't know if that was increased in this budget with that anticipation or not. Because I was heard that they were gonna need more like 10.
2,000 buys maybe 5 or 6 boxes, 6 boxes.
Right. So that's something that we're gonna wanna keep in mind as well, unless we're gonna, if Henry's taking it over, maybe it's being allocated for Parks and Rec, I don't know, but that hasn't come to us to consider, so just wanted to make council aware of that. Any other comments from council members? You'd like to hear some, but you're done? All right. We'll move to the next agenda item. I'm going to start at this side of the room and come around. Anyone interested to speak at audience? Yes? Sure.
Andrew Christopchik, longtime resident of the city of Warren. Mr. Bachman. Mr. Warren. Steve. Das Reed. How much did you contribute to the discussion? None. I heard 4 people here analyzing the budget. You 5 are silent. That tells me exactly what's in that book is what you people are going to be voting on either this coming meeting or the next. Let me tell you guys something. You're supposed to be politicians. Mr. Bacamino, how much money are you reserving for road repairs in the district of where you're going to be running in? What are you doing for them now to sell yourself that you really care about them? 0. Every one of you. That's amazing. If I was running for a ward, you think I'd be at my mouth shut on that? I would be trying to squeeze every single dollar into the ward that I'm running for, to let the people know that I care. You don't see that. Now, if you think you've got problems now with funding of road repairs, as it is now, somebody said $1 million, they ain't gonna do nothing. That's negative. That's kicking the can down the road. Are you all hanging your hat on millage increase? But what if there's no millage increase? How are you going to tell these people that you really support them? Worst condition will be when, if you people are lucky to get reelected, is to have your wards. Where are you going to get the money from? You're going to go ask Mr. Warner to support you? And Mr. Warner say, the hell no, I got a problem in my own ward. And somebody will say, well, how much money did you reserve to the budget? Which kicks in July 1, and it goes to the new people that's going to be in there. It affects them. They're going to get that, Mr. Warner. Very disappointing in the 5 of you. What are you contributing? Nothing. Absolutely zero. And you want the people to reelect you in these new laws. It'll be a preview of coming attractions. Zero participation. Thank you.
Mr. Curtis, on down. Ladies?
Hi, I'm Lamont. I've lived in Warren my whole life, a good old 38.5 years. And, you know, this is just getting ridiculous. Everybody's moving out. There's empty houses everywhere you look. And the reason they're moving out is because things aren't being run right. Okay? That's a big part of why people are leaving, because you're not taking care of the city. Talking about wanting to cut out the recycling, are you serious? So the third largest city in Michigan is no longer going to be a green city? You want to get rid of recycling? What does that say to the rest of the state and the United States, for that matter? That, hey, we don't recycle here, we don't want it. You need to keep the recycling in, you need to figure something else out, okay? My husband has got one of them layoff letters from DPW. You haven't even figured out the budget yet, so why has he even got this letter? This shouldn't even be happening, and he's gonna be speaking on that stuff. So I'll let him go on that. But as far as I'm concerned, it's the dumbest thing I've seen yet. And again, you guys not even talking, really? How are you gonna get reelected if you're not doing anything? You just wanna get paid for sitting there? You know, it's not gonna happen. I mean, me myself, I got a nice big mouth. I admit it, it's not a problem. You know, I know why they're going after my husband. It's because I was talking about Gus having his truck up at that little golf place late at night. I said it, I don't care who knows. He was doing it, and it's wrong. And he's still doing it, and nobody's doing anything about it. It's wrong. Somebody needs to do something about it. And if that means me standing up here saying that it's stupid and telling the whole city that this is going on, I'll do it. I mean, I'm happy to go around and ask people to post up letters in their businesses, full posters, no problem. I'll go around and tell them, this is what's going on. I have no problem. I took the pictures of Gus up there with his truck, and now he's going after my husband. Really? Can you get any more childish? Take care of the budget, stop trying to screw him up. It's just stupid. So. And this here, appointees, they're way overpaid, and that's why nobody likes them. They're sitting around. I mean, how many questions were asked? How many were answered of these appointees? I didn't hear anything. I'll have to look into it. Let me check on that. It's your job to know. If you don't know, then why are you getting paid the big bucks? Getting way more than my husband, and he's out there busting his butt. And I mean busting it. There's days when he's just hit that pager was off, and I swear to God, this man runs. You don't go, oh, let me finish dinner. He leaves his dinner sitting. He jumps up, gets his clothes on, runs out, and he's there. He doesn't play around. He takes his job very seriously. And he's the one you're gonna cut? You got one guy over there that's been sitting around on S&A, a medical, whatever it is. And he's planning on coming back for like a day. And then go back on it again. Why don't you just... I've seen guys that have had, what was it? The one who's driving without a license. Driving them big old salt trucks. You know, the kind of salt trucks that we allow to go through the stop signs and everything, because they got to keep pushing